Hello friends, welcome back. This video we'll discuss some more verbal ability questions that are generally asked for IPMAT. So the questions are already given in an exercise form. The link to the exercise is provided in the description. Please attempt the exercise and then watch the video for a clear understanding and the techniques that we use in arriving at the answers through elimination process. Right. So the first question is, or set of questions are there which are based on this particular challenge where there is a missing sentence. So you have to read the paragraph and then from the options, you have to select the sentence which is the most suitable option to fit in the logic of the paragraph. So here the technique is that you have to understand the paragraph as a whole. Then you have to understand the link between the sentences, how the logic is flowing from one sentence to the next sentence. And then you have to go through the options and select that option which is logically or which is fitting into the logic that is provided in the paragraph. So for that, you have to have a very clear understanding of the passage first and the intricacies of the passage or the details of the passage and how the logic is flowing from one sentence to the next sentence. So we will straight away go to the question. The first question is talking about the artificial intelligence applications in the field of healthcare, industry, finance, etc. And they rely on deep learning and natural language processing. So here, basically, this statement is talking about the advantages of AI or how AI is performing, or what is the process by which AI is performing the functions it is supposed to perform. Then there is a next sentence where the key word is however. So this word is the key here. So the first sentence is talking about a positive aspect of AI, but there is a negative aspect. That is why this word, however, is given here. So while AI systems can mimic existing styles and pattern, what is mimicking? Copying. So AI systems are able to do natural language processing, deep learning, etc. But they are only copying the styles and patterns, and there is a debate regarding whether they can truly possess the genuine creativity in the same sense as humans. So human beings are possessing the creativity or a genuine form of creativity, and the author is doubtful whether AI can copy that creativity in the same manner as humans are doing. Means AIs are able to do deep learning, they are able to do natural language processing, everything is correct. But this debate is there going on whether AI is able to mimic or copy the genuine creativity that humans are having. So this is the a sentence. So the two sentences or the passage I also is talking first about the positive aspect of AI, then a negative aspect or a doubt regarding the ability of AI to actually recreate the creativity that humans are possessing. This is the understanding. Now, what should be the third sentence or the last sentence? First option, man has long feared the rise of the machine, his own creation becoming smarter and more intelligent. If we put this, what we are doing? We are actually reinforcing the positive aspect which is stated in the first sentence. We are not saying anything about the second sentence, because if the man has fear that the machines are going to surpass human beings, then why should there be a debate regarding whether the machines can create or the machines can have the same form of creativity that humans are having? So that doubt has no relevance here, because if you are doing the, or if you are putting the option A as the third sentence, so this logic is not really the logic in the third sentence, or the option A is not really combining or not really gelling well with the entire logic of the passage. So this is not the answer. The question is whether the people are fearful of machines being surpassing or smarter than human beings. So this is not really the debate that is going on here. The debate is whether machines can possess the creativity that humans are having, even though they are doing natural language processing. So this is not the correct answer. Option B, AI-generated works may lack the depth, emotional connection, and unique perspectives that come with human experiences. The good answer, because it is carrying on the debate in the, or doubt that is expressed in the second sentence about the genuine creativity that humans are having, which machines are not likely to have. And this sentence is reinforcing that by saying that because of this doubt or this debate, the AI generated works or the works that are created by AI will not be having the emotional connection and unique perspectives that humans generated works have because of the human experience. So why humans are having creativity or genuine creativity through the experiences and emotions that humans are having. But machines, being machines, they cannot have such kind of experiences or emotions. As a result of which, they may not be having the depth or the emotional connection in their works. So this is actually carrying on the logic that is stated in the second sentence of this. The option is actually gelling or matching with the logic of the passage. This could be a likely answer. Keep it in your mind. Option C, AI usage raises a number of ethical concerns such as privacy issues, bias in algorithm, etc., etc. So we are not talking about the ethical concerns at all. The passage is not at all discussing the ethics related with the usage of AI. So this is not going to be a proper sentence that matches the logic. Option D, high performance computing has already proven a machine's ability to perform advanced calculations for faster. Again, it is talking about the efficiency of AI. This is not the subject of the discussion in the passage. The subject of the discussion is, even though AI has a lot of deep learning and natural language processing abilities, they may not be having the original creativity that humans are having. So this is the debate. So this the performance efficiency of the AI is not the subject of the passage. So not the answer. So from this, it is very clear that option B is the best answer. That is the logical connection between the first and second sentences to form the concluding sentence. So this is how you find the answers in these kind of questions. These kind of questions may be slightly tricky, but you have to read the passage carefully, understand the nuances of the passage. Then you have to understand the connection between the sentences, and only then you can do the elimination process and arrive at the correct answer. So for that, reading a skill or a vast experience in reading is going to be useful for you. This is why I always support reading newspapers and books, etc., as a long-term preparation strategy for both CAT as well as IPMAT. So any kind of management entrance examinations, as well as in management, whether you study management or after study your studies, whether you're working in management, you need to have the extensive reading ability. So you better start that reading ability now by starting to read newspapers, books, etc., in a very intense and deep and extensive manner. This is going to help you. Once you do that, your verbal ability section in IPMAT as well as your VRC section in CAT is going to be a real cakewalk for you. So this is my promise. So go to the next question. Second question, in an era where privacy and individualism are often prized above all else, Japanese architect Yamamoto blurs the boundary between public and private. So it says that we are living in an era where privacy is very much precious or very much given importance and individual. So everybody is giving importance to their privacy. So in such an era, Yamamoto, the architect Yamamoto, is blurring the boundary between public and private. Means he is violating or he is surpassing the boundary between private and public. So he is integrating both the private spaces with the public spaces. This is the what he is doing. So second sentence we don't know, so we have to keep it in that mind. We are discussing about a particular architect who is merging the public spaces with the private spaces in an era when privacy is very much precious and very much important for people. And then his work is a testament to the power of architecture to break down barriers and to foster a sense of community. So people are becoming more and more reserved and secure within their own private spaces. In such a situation, he is doing certain architectural works where these barriers between personal spaces are broken down to foster a sense of community. It means the sense of community or sense of belongingness in a community is being developed through his architectural works. And through his innovative designs, it challenges traditional notions of public and private. So traditionally, public spaces and private spaces are kept separate, but his innovative designs are merging these and then challenging them and seamlessly blending the realms. Means seamlessly blending means without any boundaries, these kind of private and public spaces that were kept separate in a traditional method, they were being merged into a single system, and this is his innovation. So that is how he is blurring the boundary between public and private spaces. So The passage on the whole is talking about the architectural principles that are followed by Mr. Yamamoto in an era where privacy is held sacred or privacy is given a lot of value by people. But he feels that in order to foster a sense of community or belongingness in a society, there should be a merger or a seamless connectivity between private and public spaces. That is what he is doing to his architectural works. This is the meaning. Now, what should come in the as a second sentence? That is your problem. Option A is successfully integrates traditional Japanese aesthetics and modern design principles. See, here it is talking about the integration between the traditional Japanese style of architecture and the modern design principles. See, we are not talking about the traditional versus modern design principles. We are talking about the design philosophy of Yamamoto, where he is not bothered about the division or the categorization between public and prices. He merges both. So here, the modern design principles are not necessarily merging all these things. Even in the modern system, from the passage, we can see that no other architect is doing in the modern world like this. So if he's merging Japanese traditional aesthetics and modern design principles, then all modern architects should be doing that, right? But it is not being done. So here we are talking about something that is completely different from what Yamamoto is doing. So this is not going to be a correct answer. Aesthetics means the science of beauty is aesthetics. So here, Japanese traditional science of beauty has certain principles, and modern design principle has different set of principles, and is merging them. May be true, may not be true. We don't know. We are only talking about his philosophy of combining public and private spaces. Whether he is doing traditional merger or traditional Japanese principles with modern principles, we are not aware. This is not hinted or stated in the passage. So this may not be a good option. You can eliminate it. Option B, he was recently named the 2024 laureate of the prestigious Pritzker Architecture Prize. So this being an introduction, and this being a second sentence, this may be a likely option because it is talking about an achievement that he has got, that is, he got the laureate prize. So probable answer, even though it is not connected with the logic that is stated here, it is talking about an achievement that he has. So we will keep that in mind. Option C, in the world of architecture, he stands out as a visionary voice advocating a return to a more interconnected way of living. Good answer, because it is continuing the logic that is stated in the first sentence, where he is known to blur the boundary between public and private spaces, and he is a visionary, means he is an exception. He stands out means he is not the normal run-of-the-mill architect of the modern world. He is standing out. He is an exception because of his visionary voice advocating a return to a more interconnected way of living. So previously, we had an interconnected way of living. Now he is championing the cause or supporting that we should go to this interconnected way of living. How? By breaking down the barriers and fostering a sense of community. So this statement is more in tune with the logic of the passage. This option B is only talking about an achievement that is not really in tune with the logic that is there between the first and third sentence. So this option C would be a better answer. We will keep it in mind. So we will eliminate option B because we got another better answer, option C. Now we go to option D. He is deeply committed to building harmonious societies through his architectural practice. So what he's doing, he's deeply committed to building harmonious societies, a society where people are more connected with each other, more at harmony with each other. Such societies are being built through his architectural practice. Okay, good answer. But now you have two good answers. One is talking about how he is or what makes him special. Another one is saying that what is his principle or what is his goal. He is committed to building harmonious society. So as a second sentence, which should be the better answer, because both are matching with the logic that is given in the paragraph. But out of these two, how do you find the better answer? See, we have to find, or we have to fill a position that is in the second sentence of the paragraph. The first sentence is introducing the Japanese architect Reiken Yamamoto and how he is, what is his architectural philosophy. Then he says that he is how he is exceptional because he is advocating or he is supporting a return to an interconnected way of living. How? By fostering a sense of community, by challenging the traditional notions of public and private spaces, and he is deeply committed to building harmonious society. So, which is the better answer to be given an option or this blank space? That is where question is deeply committed. So, this sentence, see here, we are talking about harmonious societies. How these harmonious societies are built? These harmonious societies are built when you break down the barriers to foster a sense of community, then harmonious societies are coming. Whereas if you put it here, the question rises how this is being done. Whereas when you say that he is a visionary voice or he has a vision, with that vision is to go back to the interconnected way of living. How? By breaking down the barriers. So his principle is that you have to return to the previous way of interconnected way of living, and he is doing that by through his power of architecture by breaking down the barriers. And through breaking down the barriers, what is happened? The merger between the private and public spaces are happening, and this leads to harmonious society. So, out of these options C and D, I would say that D will be the better as a concluding sentence, whereas B is the option that will correctly fit in at the place where we have to fill up the blanks. So this is a really tricky one. It is very difficult to choose between these two, but so it is not B, sorry, it is C. But you have to read the entire passage two, three times and then try to fit in the sentences here. Because when you are talking about introducing a subject, you have to first talk about the person, his philosophy, then what makes him special, then what is the process he is following, then why he is doing that. Because he has a commitment to build harmonious society. So this theory regarding harmonious societies is already coming in later. So only after you introduce the theory of harmonious societies, you can say that he is committed to building harmonious society. Otherwise, if you say that building harmonious societies is his commitment in the beginning itself, then it is not really correct because you have to say what is his vision or what is his principle or what he intends to do. So that is why option C is a better answer to fill up the blanks, and option D is probably the last sentence here. So C would be the better answer rather than a D. This is how you find the answer in the second question. Go to the third one. So this is comparatively simple. It is talking about the pursuit of a career in sports and what are the opportunities you get by following a career in the sports and why it is important for you to do rigorous training and to maintain peak physical conditions. And you also have to be mentally balanced or you have to be mentally dedicated to find success. And even though there are challenges, if you are physically and mentally dedicated and fit, you will be finding success. You will get a lot of money, contracts, etc. So all those things are stated here. Now you have to find the statement or you have to find a phrase. It is not a full sentence. It is a phrase that you have to find that is coming after the but. So here the but is very crucial because the uh, first part of the sentence talks about how how sports as a career offers a lot of lucrative opportunities for personal fulfillment as well as professional success to people. But so there is a but. What is that but? We don't know. But if you read the next sentence, athletes must therefore. So because of this but, you have to undergo rigorous training regimens to maintain peak physical condition. So this but should be something about the physical condition or the physical district because the next sentence says that because of this, athletes must be physically very fit in order to Excel. So we have to find a statement that talks about a physical problem or what can cause a problem in your success. Because the first sentence is that career in sports can give you a lot of opportunities to succeed, but there is a problem, and because of that problem, you have to be in a top physical condition. So this problem should be something concerning the physical condition. So you have to only have to find an answer that talks about the physical condition, your answer will be very clear. So option A, sports careers are often short-lived due to the physical demands and risks of injury associated with athletic competition. So good answer, because it says that even though there are a lot of opportunities to succeed, uh, but sports careers are often short-lived due to the physical demands. So there are a lot of physical demands and injury risk. If you become physically unfit or if you become injured, then your careers can be short-lived. So this is a good answer. Keep it in your mind. Option B, athletes often face pressures from coaches, sponsors, fans, etc., adding to the stress of professional sports. It is talking about the stress. It is the stress is mental stress, whereas here the next sentence is talking about the physical fitness. So this is not a correct answer because it is talking about the mental stress. And the next sentence again is talking about the career paths. Sports industry encompasses a wide range of career paths, etc., etc. So this is talking about a positive thing. It is not talking about a negative thing. So this will not fit in here. Option D, many athletes choose to pursue higher education alongside the sports careers to ensure long-term stability. So again, it is talking about the importance. Some athletes are pursuing higher education, but what is the relevance of physical fitness here? If you say this, there is no relevance. So because of this, this also is not a correct answer. So option A is very clearly the correct answer. This is a very simple question. Once you understand the logic, the answer becomes very evident. Go to the next question. Again, a very simple one. It is talking about an incident that happened where a lorry that was filled with tomatoes worth 21 lakh rupees was missing. And then the traders, one of the three traders who had sent these tomatoes on the lorry. So three traders had sent tomatoes on this lorry, and one of them said that they lost contact with the driver in Nashik, and GPS was switched off. And the owners or the people who dispatch the tomatoes, they are not sure whether the lorry has been hijacked or the driver himself had stolen the tomatoes. What is the rationale for this? That is clear in the last para sentence, because this is the third time, because the tomato prices have reached 150 rupees per kg. So tomato prices have become very, very high. So as a result of which, lorries laden with tomatoes are either getting hijacked or being stolen by drivers. So this is the entire passage. Now you have to find out what is the first sentence. So first sentence should be talking about the incident itself, because the next sentence, first word is this happened. What should be this the incident happened after a lorry laden went missing. So something happened after a lorry laden with tomatoes uh, worth 21 lakh rupees was found missing. So what should have happened? Nashik or to Kolar as the biggest or tomato one? No, this is wrong. That's got nothing to do with the missing of a lorry. Panic and confusion reigned among traders in the Kolar agriculture produce matter. Yes, if the lorry laden with tomatoes went missing, what would happen? The panic and confusion among the traders, because they might be dispatching lot of trucks be laden with tomatoes to different parts of the country. So they would be panicking and there would be confusion because lorries are vanishing with tomatoes. So this happened means panic and confusion happened among the traders. So this is a probable answer. Keep it in your mind. Option C, a couple took the hijacked vehicle to a nearby market and sold the tomatoes there. Probably, we don't know. But this happened after when it went missing means a couple took the hijacked vehicle to a nearby market and sold the tomatoes there. This is not evident from the remainder of the passage. If they knew what happened, uh, the relevance of the GPS getting switched off and the traders not being sure if the truck had been hijacked, this statement will not be relevant, because if the traders knew that the couple had taken the hijacked vehicle and sold the tomatoes. What is the point in saying that they are not sure whether that lorry was hijacked or the tomatoes had been stolen by the driver? So this is why this is not logically fitting in with the passage. Option D, three traders jointly had a lorry to carry tomatoes. So this happened after a lorry laden with tomatoes were is wrong. This happened before. So this hiring of the lorry should have happened before the lorry disappeared. So this option again is wrong. So option B is the only correct answer, which says that the traders started panicking after a lorry laden with tomatoes was found missing. So this is why option B is the correct statement to fit it. All right. Now the next set of questions are talking about missing words. So a passage will be given. There will be some missing words. So you have to read the passage, find the logic, and then find out which words are the best fits to complete the sentences so that the sentences become meaningful. So you have to understand or you have to read the statement first, understand what has happened, then find out which sentences would be the correct fits to fill up the blanks. All right. First one, and Dash found that one of the marathon runners had Dash slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and after Dash, the one behind him had let him cross the finish line just 1 second before he did. So what had happened? There was a marathon going on. Marathon means a long race of around 42 kilometers is called a marathon. So this marathon was going on, and one of the runners, what he did, he slowed down, and he intentionally slowed down and he indicated to one person, one another runner behind him, and he communicated with him somehow and asked him to overtake this first runner. And so he deliberately allowed the runner who was behind him to finish ahead of him. This is what has happened. So it is maybe a display of sportsmanship, or this runner who was in the front, he wanted the person who was behind to win the race ahead of him or to finish ahead of him. It is not stated that they were the winners or the runners up. No, we don't know. They might have been in the ninth position or the 10th position. That is something we are not sure. But anyway, this runner allowed another runner who was running behind him to finish ahead of him. This was what has happened. So now you think what should be the missing words. And an analysis found that one of the marathon runners. So analysis, yes, after this incident that happened, they did an analysis and they found that one of the runners had systematically slowed down in the last 2 kilometers. What is systematically slowing down? Following a system, he slowed down means following a system means slowed down. First he slowed down a little bit, then he slowed down slightly, a little bit more, like that. Systematically slowing. Okay, we can think of it as a probable answer, and after waving to the one behind him, had let him cross the line. So this is okay. Analysis found that this runner systematically slowed down the last 2 kilometers, and after waving to the next one behind him, let him cross. Probable answer, keep it in your mind. Then an overview found that. What is an overview? Overview means a summary. So an overview found that one of the marathon runners is not correct. Summary. In a summary, you cannot find it. You have to either analyze the problem or you have to examine the issue or see the video clipping, all those things. So overview is not the problem here. So since it is not the proper word here, you don't have to look at the other words. Purposely is okay. Beckoning means calling. That also is okay. But since overview is not the correct word here, you can quit. Option C, an investigation, correct? They have found that one of the marathon runners had deliberately, yes, with intention or with a purpose. So he knows what he is doing. He is deliberately allowing the runner behind him to uh, uh, pass or overtake him and finish ahead of him. So deliberately is a better word than systematically. Systematically means following a system. Deliberately means he was intentionally doing it. So this is a better answer. So an investigation is better than analysis. So an investigation into the incident found that the runner deliberately slowed down and after signaling to the one behind him and let him cross the finish line. So this is a better answer than option A. So you can ignore option A. C is now the preferred option, appraisal. Option D, first word is appraisal. What is appraisal? Appraisal means The process to find out the value of something is called appraisal. So this is wrong here. Here we are not finding out or trying to find out the value of anything. So the word appraisal is wrong here. Particularly means specifically. So that also is not the better word than deliberately. So again, speaking to the one behind him, we don't know whether he spoke or not. But since this word appraisal is wrong, you can completely ignore it. So option C is the best answer. And an investigation found that one of the marathon runners had deliberately slowed down and after signaling to the one behind him, allowed him to finish the race ahead of him. So option C is the best answer. Question number 6, the outbreak of COVID-19 resulted in the health crisis and a drop in the economic activity that were without a dash in history. What is the meaning here? This COVID-19 or the crisis, both the health as well as the economic crisis that happened due to COVID-19 was without a dash in history, means it was unheard of in history, means nowhere in history we have any such incident that was similar to this one. So that is without in history. While containing and dash the spread of the virus was the first priority of public authorities, reducing the dash of the disease and limiting the pressure on healthcare system was also considered equally important. So this was something unheard of in history, the COVID-19, and containing the disease was the first priority, but reducing the dash of the disease and limiting the pressure or the limiting the demands on the healthcare system was also equally important. This is the paragraph. Now, when you talk about something that is unheard of in history without any uh, comparison in history, then what is the right word? The right word is either precedent or parallel. So, unprecedented, you might have heard the word unprecedented. Unprecedented means without any precedent. Precedent means precedent, something that has happened before is precedent. So, without any precedent or unprecedented means there was no such thing that has happened anywhere in the past. That is unprecedented or unparalleled. So, without a precedent or without a parallel is the right word. Without similarity is not correct used in English language when we talk about something that has happened for the first time, or without equivalent is also not used. So you can ignore this option as well as this option. So you have two probable answers: without precedent in history, without parallel in history, while containing and controlling the where when we talk about controlling, option D is control, containing and controlling. Containing means what? Controlling itself. So containing and controlling are wrong because you need not repeat the same thing again. So containing and controlling is not correct. Containing and combating. Combating means fighting. So controlling and fighting the disease was the fighting the spread of the virus. Controlling and fighting the spread of the virus was first priority. The reducing the prevalent, reducing, or you can see, no, combating we don't have to look at because we have already excluded this. So we can ignore this one. Mitigating. What is mitigating? Mitigating means reducing. So containing and mitigating, that is controlling and reducing the spread of the virus was the first priority. Reducing the incidence of the disease. So it means virus spreading is on, we have to control, but all the people who are getting the virus, they may not be getting the disease. So reducing the incidence or reducing the number of people who are actually getting infected by the disease, that also is a priority. So without the precedent, so this is an unprecedented event. We need to contain, control, and reduce the spread of the virus. And at the same time, we have to reduce the incidence of the disease. So B is a good answer. Because of similarity and equivalent, A and C are eliminated. Because of controlling, which is a repetition of containing, D is eliminated. So we have B as the correct answer. Okay, go to the next one. In today's fast-paced world, individuals are inundated, means flooded with information, necessitating the cultivation of critical thinking skills in order to navigate the influx of data. So we have a lot of information that is on our hands, but when there is a lot of information, you need to be judicious or you need to be discretionary. Means you need to uh, separate the good from the bad or separate the truth from the falsehood. That is what is stated here. Additionally, the prevalence of fake news and misinformation presents a kind of challenge, undermining people's trust in media and institutions, promoting media literacy, and cultivating a culture of skepticism. What is skepticism? Not blindly believing anything or something. You need to look at everything with a suspicious side. That is skepticism. You won't readily believe anything that you hear or read or exposed to. You have to cultivate a sense of suspicion or questioning to everything that is provided to you, so that you are able to separate the truth from the falsehood. That is skepticism are vital for dash informed citizenship and democratic values. So it is, the passage is basically talking about a lot of information being on our hands, but you need to be very careful with the information. You have to find out what you have to trust and what you have to eliminate or discard. You don't be blindly believe anything you hear. So this is a very big challenge. That is the essence of the passage. Now, the influx of data, you need the cultivation of critical thinking in order to navigate the influx of data. In what manner? Judiciously. Judiciously means wisely, means using your wisdom, trying to separate the good from the bad. That is judiciously. That is correct. Discerningly. Discerning means again, you have to discern between, differentiate between truth and falsehood, good from bad. So that also is correct. Discreetly. What is discreetly? Discreetly. Discreetly means secretly. So here, this is wrong because secretly, you don't need to be secretive. You, what the correct word is discrete. Discrete. So there is a, this is a different word. Discrete means wisely or trying to do it in a judicious manner, trying to separate the good from the bad. Whereas DASCRETLY discreetly means secretly. So this is wrong. So you can ignore option C completely. So thoughtfully, yes, influx of data thoughtfully. Thoughtfully means using your thinking ability. That also is correct. So keep it in your mind. So judiciously, discerningly, thoughtfully. A, B, and D are likely answers. Additionally, the prevalence of fake news and misinformation presents a dash challenge. What challenge? Option A, systematic challenge. Can a challenge be systematic? Systematic means following a method, following a set system, following a procedure or a process. That is systematic. Challenges can never be systematic. Solutions can be systematic. Systematic solution, systematic problem solving, that is correct. But problem or a challenge cannot be systematic. Problem or a challenge can be complex or complicated, not systematic. So this word is not correct here. So because of this, we can completely ignore this one. So pervasive challenge means a challenge that is present everywhere. That is a pervasive challenge or a very widespread challenge. So good answer, discerningly, pervasive is okay. Holistic challenge. What is holistic? Wholesome challenge means on the whole it is a challenge or overall challenge. So that also is good. Overall challenge. The influx of presents a holistic challenge. Holistic challenge is not really correct because holistic is normally used for when you integrate different schemes or different set of principles or different scientific ideas for solving a problem. It is called a holistic solution. For example, holistic treatment. Holistic treatment means when you combine the ideas in allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, everything together to cure diseases. That is called a holistic medicine or a holistic solution. Holistic solution means when you combine different approaches to find a solution instead of following only a single approach. That is called a holistic solution. So here, just like systematic, holistic also cannot be used in the context of a challenge. See, challenges cannot be holistic. So that is why this also cannot be a good answer because of the word holistic. Pervasive is the best answer. Pervasive means a challenge that is spread everywhere. That is that is existing everywhere. That is a pervasive challenge. And additionally, the prevalence of fake news and misinformation undermining people's trust in media, promoting media literacy, and cultivating culture skepticism are vital for that is developing informed citizenship. So, which is the word here, fostering. Fostering is good word, so fostering informed. So, this is because of systematic. This is deleted. Option D is also deleted. So, option B is the correct answer. So the challenges are that you have to discerningly analyze the data that is given to you, and but there is a all pervasive challenge that is there because of the fake news. You need to develop media literacy to foster means support informed citizenship and democratic values. Option B is the correct answer. Question number 8, conspiracy theories suggest that if climate change is slowly turning the planet into an oven, then this must have been the outcome of our enemy's intentional dash. So it says that conspiracy theories. Who is a conspiracy theorist? A person who sees certain conspiracies in everything is called a conspiracy theory, or who sees certain evil designs in whatever things that happen around the world. Somebody thinks that everything is based on a conspiracy. All actions or everything that happens in the world is because of certain conspiracies or certain evil designs by some people is called a conspiracy theorist. And these people are saying that climate change is also not something that has gradually happened. It is because of some actions by our enemies in an intentional manner. So they say that climate change is also the outcome of our enemies' intentional designs or plans. If there are no coincidences in the world, then everything, including dash events, can be controlled. It is only a matter of power and science. Since this is done by our enemies, what we can do, this can be controlled. Even these kind of events can be controlled. You only need to develop the power and the skill to control climate change. This is what conspiracy theories are saying. So it is basically talking about climate change being a planned program by some of the enemies of the humankind. So since this is an evil planned by our enemies, we can fight it. Only we need to develop the power and the skill to fight this. This is the meaning. Now, what could be the correct word? So, our enemies intentional what? Intentional plans or design should be the correct word. Machinations, correct. Machinations in intentional plans or designs is machinations. Intentional errors, no. If enemies are making errors, we need not worry about it, right? So, errors is not the proper word here. So this can be eliminated. Then intentional plotting. Plotting means scheming or designs or making plans. So that is a true correct word. Inaction. If enemies are intentionally not doing any action, then we need not worry. So conspiracy theories will not say inaction. So this is why this also is eliminated. So we have A and C as the correct answers. Then we have to find the next word. If there are no coincidences in the world, then everything, including dash events, can be controlled. Outstanding events, catastrophic events. See, what is an outstanding event? Any event that is extraordinary, that is not an ordinary event, that is not common, is an outstanding event. But we are talking about climate change. This is an outstanding event, but at the same time, it is a catastrophic event. It is a disastrous event. Outstanding means you can use this word in a positive as well as in a negative sense. So any a good event can also be an outstanding event. Any bad event can be an outstanding event. Whereas catastrophic means a disastrous. So only bad events can be described as catastrophic. So here, since we are talking about climate change, which is a bad thing for the entire globe, we can say that catastrophic is the better word. Outstanding is not the better word. So we can eliminate this option as well. So because of our enemy's intentional plotting, climate change has come about. But since this is not a coincidence, we can control it. This catastrophic event can be controlled. It is only a matter of power and prowess. Prowess means skill. So this because of this intentional plotting, this has happened. We can this catastrophic event can be controlled. We only need the power and skill to do it. So option C is the correct. All right, question number 9. So it is talking about social media being beneficial to some kind of people. Why? How it is beneficial? Because they can connect directly with people. Yeah, they will not be within the confines of the certain restrictions imposed by political parties. So they instead of, they can uh, go beyond the political parties to connect directly with people, and they can profit from echo chambers. What is an echo chamber? Where you're one person making a sound, it is multiplied 10 times, it's an echo chamber. So here the digital media or the social media is likened to an echo chamber where one person or two persons or a group of persons support one individual. So it seems that the entire world is supporting that individual. So that is why echo chambers reinforce the sense that a whole people support a populist leader. What is a populist leader? A person who wants to be popular because of one particular agenda he is pursuing is called a populist leader. Populist measures, you might have seen, is some measures that are floated by political parties in order to gain popularity are called populist measures. So a populist leader is someone who wants to gain individual popularity for himself through certain measures or certain programs that he is following. Such a person is called a populist leader. So it says that social media can benefit aspiring dash, aspiring autocrats. Correct. Autocrat is somebody who wants to have the full authority concentrated on him. Such a person is an autocrat. So social media can benefit autocrats. So this is so entrepreneurs, businessmen. Are we talking about businessmen here? No, we are talking about politics and how a person who wants to become popular can make use of social media to uh, break the restrictions imposed by political parties to directly connect with people and then gain a lot of popularity for himself. So we are not talking about entrepreneurs or their policies. Entrepreneurs means businessmen. So since we are not talking about businessmen, we can completely ignore this option. Anarchist. Anarchist means a person who believes in lawlessness or a person who does not believe in the rule of law is an anarchist. So it can even support, and social media can be used by anarchists to drive their agenda because he is populist, because he wants his agenda of anarchy to be a populist agenda. So this also is a good answer. Democrats, yes, again, since you are talking about people, Democrats also can make use of social media. So only B can be eliminated. Then populists in particular latch onto social media as a way to connect directly with people, dash restraints on their behavior that political parties would have provided the pre-internet age. So in the pre-internet age, what would have happened? Political parties would have put certain restrictions on the actions of the individual leaders. So here, because of the digital age, this individual leaders can uh, overcome the restrictions that political parties would have provided the pre-internet age. So the key word is overcoming the restrictions. So what would be the correct word? Bypassing this, bypassing the restraints. Unscrupulous, not correct. Unscrupulous means without any ethics or without any scruples. So this is not correct. We have to find a word that means bypassing or overcoming. So avoiding is correct, bypassing is correct. So we are left with two options, A and B. So either autocrats or democrats can make use of social media to connect with the people directly, bypassing the restrictions that political parties would have provided the pre-internet age. They can also profit from echo chambers, which reinforces the sense that a whole people that supports a populist leader. So here they can use these echo chambers. Social media is similar to an echo chamber where a group of people supporting a person, their support can be made to look in a multifaceted manner or a multi-dimensional manner. So in order to appear as if a whole group of people or a vast majority of people are supporting that person. So this uniformly supporting surprisingly supports a populist leader. Surprisingly is not the keyword, it is uniformly supports because echo chambers will reinforce the belief that whole people, everybody is uniformly supporting that leader. Surprisingly means the people did not expect that to happen, but it happened. That is not the sense here. Surprisingly is not the sense. Uniformly is the correct sense. So it would social media is will act like an echo chamber where the support of a group of people to a populist leader appear as if the whole group of people are unanimously supporting that leader. So instead of surprisingly, uniformly is the correct word. And Democrats also is not, if you read the entire passage, then you will understand that who are Democrats, people who believe in the rule by the people themselves is a Democrats. So Democrats normally will not be doing or supporting a populist leader. Why? Because a populist leader means somebody who wants individual attention for himself. Democrats means who believe in the rule of law. So the Democrats will not be exploiting the social media to develop populism for their individual popularity. So that is why two reasons are there. The surprisingly word is not correct in the last sentence, and the when you read the entire paragraph, you see the Democrats is not the proper word here. So you can see that autocrat, a person who wants to enjoy full power or authority on himself, he will make use of social media or exploit social media, bypassing the controls that political parties would have imposed on him in the pre-internet age to connect directly with people. And he will use it in a clever manner to do the function of echo chambers, where the support by a small group of people to him will appear as if the entire group of people are unanimously supporting him. So autocrats will be trying to gain power or gain uh, unrestricted power to himself by making use of the power of the social media. So this is why option A should be the correct answer. All other options are having some problems in between. So this is why you need to have a very good reading ability to crack these kind of questions in IPMAT. Where you remember these are IPMAT questions. That means plus two level people who have just passed plus two, they will be tracking these kind of questions. When you come to CAT level questions, the questions may be little bit more complex. That is why people who are now preparing for CAT or the CAT beginners, they have to develop an extensive reading habit. This I have been telling over and over and over again in all my videos. Without the extensive reading habit, the VRC or the verbal ability section is going to be a very difficult proposition for you. But once you acquire that reading habit and the skills, the vocabulary skills as well as the logical skills, the verbal ability section is the one that needs the least amount of preparation. So this is why you need to develop it in a long-term manner. It is not a small feat, or it is not something that can be developed within a month or 2 months or 3 months or 6 months. Maybe a year or 2 years of sustained and dedicated reading habit will help you to develop the proficiency that is required to crack the CAT level questions and even the IPMAT level questions. All right, the next and the last question. In an era of globalization, cultural diversity is celebrated and valued across societies. However, the rise of xenophobia and intolerance poses a challenge. So, what is xenophobia? Hatred for people belonging to a different caste or different color or different region. So such people, that hatred is called xenophobia, or a fear of people belonging to different societies, speaking different languages, having different color. So such, that is called a xenophobia. So right now we are living in a age of xenophobia, and there's a challenge to social cohesion and harmony. Even though this globalization, in this globalized era, cultural diversity is value liberated, there is a increasing sense of intolerance amongst that is challenging the social harmony. So, in order to develop inclusive societies, what you have to do, you have to build inclusive communities and promoting intercultural dialogue. So, only then mutual understanding and respect among diverse populations will happen, and educating individuals about the benefits of cultural diversity and challenging dash are crucial. So, there is a rising sense of xenophobia and intolerance in the society. This is not correct. You need to have social cohesion and harmony, for which there has to be an intercultural dialogue and inclusive communities. You need to understand each other and respect diverse populations, and you have to educate individuals about the importance of cultural diversity and the importance of challenging the uh, intolerance. This is the reason. So this is the essence. Now you have to see the options. Poses a complicated challenge to social cohesion and harmony. Good answer, complicated challenge, a complex challenge. So this tolerance and intolerance and xenophobia are possessing a complicated challenge. Building inclusive communities and promoting intercultural dialogue are essential for advancing mutual understanding. Again, true, advancing mutual understanding. So here, the next one we'll think about the last one later. Multifaceted challenge, challenge that has many dimensions. Stimulating mutual understanding. That also is true. So this also is a probable answer. Pressing challenge. Pressing means urgent challenge. That is true. Then nurturing mutual understanding. Nurturing means promoting or supporting. That also is true. Sophisticated challenge. This is wrong. Sophisticated means modern or something that is refined. So challenge cannot be a sophisticated. So challenge cannot be called sophisticated. It can only be called complex or complicated. So sophisticated challenge is not a good answer because that now noun challenge cannot have a pronoun called sophisticated. So that's why it's wrong. So because of this word being wrong, the entire option we can eliminate. So we are left with three options. And the last the thing is additionally educating individuals about the benefits of cultural diversity and challenging truisms. What is truism? Something that is essentially true. That is truism. So do we need to challenge something that is essentially true? No. There is no need to challenge something that is fundamentally true. So that is why this will not be a good answer because truism is not the proper word here. Then challenging archetypes. What is archetype? Archetype means something that is a typical example or a perfect example of something is called an archetype. So here, challenging a perfect example is not a proper idea. Challenging something that is not correct or something that is orthodox or something that is uh, not based on facts is some that we which is we require. The archetype is a perfect example or a model example. So this is why this also is not correct. Even though the other two words were correct fits, the third word is not correct. The third option, pressing, correct. And it was a pressing challenge, nurturing understanding also is correct. Challenging stereotype. What is a stereotype? An orthodox belief or an orthodox approach which is not based on facts or which is not based on scientific principles is called a stereotype. A stereotype. So a person who believes in certain orthodox theories without which are not based on any scientific evidences or which are based on retrograde principles and the age-old thoughts and such kind of things are called stereotypes. So you need to challenge the stereotype, something that is not based on facts, something that is handed down over the generations, which are not based on facts. It is called a stereotype. So this is why this option is the correct one. A pressing challenge, nurturing understanding. You have to challenge stereotypes. Option C is the best answer. You can eliminate all of the. So 10 questions were there. So just review your actual attempt that you have done before watching the video and find out where have you gone wrong. You will invariably see that the problem was because of your vocabulary or your power of the logic. So you need to develop the vocabulary as well as the logical power by doing more questions like this and more importantly by developing the reading. So that's all for now. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe so that I get more reach. And if I get more reach, it will motivate me to come up with further videos like this. Thank you. Bye bye.